Okay, good morning once again. So already we have started the chapter. I've discussed, I have given you enough introduction to the chapter, right? So about the theme, about the character, and especially about the setting. That is what is very important is because when we are giving you something that is not of your age, okay, you're not a contemporary of this, right? So we should give you more introduction or more knowledge about how different that particular age would be. See the contrast between the first chapter, that is the fun they had. We saw a world, no, we saw the world which is some 2-3 centuries ahead. Now, what's happening? Yeah, 2-3 centuries ahead. But now what happened in this particular chapter, we are seeing it a few decades back. Okay, so now the chapters, the lessons are connecting you. Okay, it's a bridge for you. So you are coming to know about your past, and as well as you will be able, you're very much aware about, and you can predict about the future as well. That is how it is serving. And so here we have seen 2-3 century, I mean decades back. So maybe some half a century back, how India was. Okay, Rohan Renji, is he from our class? How India was, the pre-independent India, we can say. And especially it is not a town, it is a rustic. Okay, it is a rural village side. And Nihal, you have a question?
No, ma'am, I don't. It was by mistake.
Okay. Okay. So how rustic India was. Okay. So at that time, people, they were, though they were living in villages and as a close-knit society, but the exposure for them was very, very less. Okay. They might not get more opportunities to go outside for for the sake of entertainment. So only thing, the meeting place for them would be the such festivals which comes once in a year. Can be some religious festival, or some like in this story what we are seeing as a festival of spring. Okay, so some seasonal festival which comes once in a year. So in this way here we have seen in one particular village how the festival of spring was celebrated. It was celebrated with pomp and gaiety. Okay, and so there was a temple, and so the festival spot was the temple. The villagers, they are like, they are going to the festival place as a gathering. Many are walking, many are going on horse, like, and many are using bullock carts. Somehow they are all going. So it is the village and the roads are almost crowded. Okay, so it's so crowded it is. And here we are seeing a family with their small son. Maybe we can guess the child's age, maybe around 11 to 12. Okay, with that child, they are also moving to that festival. So when they are moving to the festival, how the child was not much exposed to the outside world was fascinated to see the sceneries on the road and the things on the road, the toys on the road, and the food items which are displayed on the stalls. Okay, so how he got fascinated and how he was longing for that. So these are all the simple child psychology, the aspirations of the child, the aspirations to get things, especially what is appealing to your senses. If you see something very colorful, the child get easily fascinated to that, right? If you feel something tempting, mouth watering, the child immediately wants to get it and devour it, right? So the same thing. So all this like thing which are appealing your senses are displayed there. The child is getting attracted to get that. But what type of a family he belongs to, how is the father, is very strict, and he every time whenever he shared his wish to get something, he immediately stopped him by telling that that is not necessary, that is very cheap, or you are too young to get that, or you are too old to get that, something in such a way. Okay, so this is how he was used to talk by his parent every now and then. And now the characteristic of a mother was also depicted in what way? Mother was not very strict as the father, so she was trying to be a bridge between these two. When the father was in the extreme other end, he was very strict. What the mother used to do, so she was used to mellow down the child, telling that okay, come. So she was trying to, she knows that getting something from father is not really possible. Okay, anyhow he will not, it is difficult to convince him to get or buy something. So what she used to do, she was trying to divert the attention of the child by showing something else. Okay, so this is again showing the economic status of the poor Indian of that time. Okay, so maybe why the father is not giving everything whatever the child is demanding for, maybe it's because of that they may not be able to afford it. Okay, so this is what so now the author is trying to give no, a picture, a visual image of India in pre-independence era. Okay, the typical rustic Indian people. Okay, so now when this is the case, now so we have seen that. So now they are proceeding to the, where are they going? To the temple. What is the festival?
Spring.
The spring mela. It was mentioned as spring mela. Okay, so as they were moving, this is what. So now shall we continue reading, because we have, there is it is bit more to complete, and we have to discuss about the theme and all. Shall we start? I'll share the PDF with you. Children, whatever we have done was a recap. Was it clear by this time?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhiraj, you have a doubt, my dear?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear. You can repeat again.
What you could not hear?
That those things which you said before, just few minutes ago.
You're not clear, ma.
Can
Child,
you
you're
hear
not
me?
clear. Huh?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I can, but it is not very clear. Tell
Can you
me.
hear me, ma'am?
I can hear you, but it is not very clear. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, can you hear me?
Tell me.
Can you repeat those things which you said again?
Repeat what again?
That means that is. Can you repeat those things?
The entire recap.
Repeat.
The entire recap that we
Yeah.
will do at the end of the chapter. Okay, wait. So it may take a time. So now we'll continue, children.
Okay, ma'am.
We have finished this, right? I want that toy. That's where the cursor is. Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
I've done till
A
the
group of
next
dragonflies,
footpath.
that paragraph we completed. Okay, so
Yeah.
here, like whatever I have explained, so it was described in a detailed manner how the child was fascinated by nature and how he was running behind each things. It is not that only the food or only the toys are catching his attention. Whatever beautiful, he was running behind even a butterfly. He was fascinated to see even the falling flowers. Everything whatever, whichever appeals to your senses it's catching or grabbing his attention. Okay, that is the childhood's curiosity. And now let me continue. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while. Okay, because every time he was lagging behind, right, the parents had to stop and wait for him to come, because he when he was just running behind something, he was still there for a while, and it was the parents' duty to get him back. Why the parents were very much anxious? Because they know very well that it is a very crowded place, and if the child is not walking along with them, he may get lost. Okay, and he ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding place to enjoy the sunshine. Now, what even the army of ants, that itself, okay. So he's not leaving that also. Come, come, child, his parents call him. From the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well, he ran towards them. So as they were walking for a long time, so now they want to take rest. So there was a grove, and there was it was a farm, and there was a well, and they were sitting on the edge of the well for some time for taking rest. Have you seen, at least have you seen a well, children? Have you seen a well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
you, as they were doing, have you seated on the edge of it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, the dove, the raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. See, now it is not he's sticking on to one thing. So within a minute, a hundred of things are getting his attraction, and he is running behind it. Okay, from a falling petal of flower, butterfly, dove, and now he's running behind a banyan tree. So this is how the child's enthusiasm and curiosity would be, right? Now, as they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs. Throngs means people, full of people in crowd, converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So now they're almost near the place where the exact fair is happening, and it was a fascinating scene for him to see the people, see the stalls, see the crowd, all in a very merry mood. As sweetmeats seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets. See, here also I told you the story is very, very significant or important for the description, the language it is used. Have you seen in the small village fairs and all how they keep the sweets for display, the burfis, the burfi especially, okay, for display? Have you seen that? They used to make it as a kind of a, like, a cylindrical, a circle. So it's telling that the architecture of the many colored sweet. So he has not just mentioned the word, used the word display of sweets. Okay, so for that itself, he has used the word, the adjective phrase. Okay, so just that is what my intention here is. Please make a note of the beautiful language what the author has used. So he's not writing in a very simple language. He wants to make it rich with content. Okay, foot of an architecture of many colored sweets. Do you understand architecture, why it is mentioned? Okay, they like that as a building blocks they used to keep it for display, the burfis and all. Decorated with leaves of silver and gold. The child stared open-eyed, and his mouth watered for the burfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi. He slowly murmured. Why he was slowly murmuring? Because he was scared of father, and he knew the answer very well. But he half knew, as he begged, that his plea would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A flower seller heart. So now, so the child, see, this is again, we have to see the child psychology. Every time when the child is demanding for something, it is just blindly, it is being refused. Okay, so what impact it would create in the child's mind? So children, if you were in the place of a child, what would be the impact created in your mind? Can anyone answer? Just probe into the child's psychology, the children's psychology. Can I get an answer from someone? Children, if you are wanting for something and continuously that has been refused by your parent, so what would happen? So will the relationship be very smooth, or will you be very happy with your parent?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So now, so definitely it would impact the psychology of the child, right? And though like another thing is he's very small to understand the economic condition. It's because of the poverty. The father is not able to afford me like give me all these things. He's very young to understand all these things, right? So he slowly murmured. So now he moved on. The next thing what has caught his attention was a flower seller. Even that, a flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar, that child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket, where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. And so without waiting for an answer, he moved on. So what should be their parents' answer? He know that already he is very much aware of the parents' answer, okay, because it is all the monotype answer, the stereotype answer. So he knows very well that they would refuse that by telling that it is very cheap and you are very young to get this, all these things. A man stood holding a pole. So they are moving. The next person who caught his attention, children keep a note of all these things, whatever the child got attracted with, because sometimes for a 2 mark question, so you have to mention only this. So what are what are the things the child saw on its way and what he wanted to get. Okay, a man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further. Okay, so the next, his desire to get balloon also was just refused. And this time the child, though he wanted to get that, he has not even asked for that also, knowing the he expects the answer. Okay, he knew the answer, what would be the answer. So he was just burying all his desire in his mind itself. Next comes a snake charmer. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised into a graceful bend like the neck of a swan. Again, see the description, how he was comparing it. A simile is being used here. The movement of the snake is compared to the neck of a swan. While the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. Okay, so here again, so the music, how the movement of the snake, okay, so it's just see the words here, invisible ear. Why it is mentioned invisible ears? It is believed that snakes don't have ears, right? So that's why it's given that invisible ear. So to that invisible ear also, the music of the snake charmer, it is falling as a rippling of the waterfall, invisible waterfall. And the child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music. So here, what comes next? So all this time, he was fascinated. He wanted to get something where the parents they have to spend something. Now, what comes here? There is nothing that they have to spend. He just want to just admire the thing, admire the music, the moment of the snake and the snake charmer and the crowd. But he knew very well that parents they won't like it, telling that they will stop him, telling that. So you might have heard the music, right? It is not a very pleasant music, it was very coarse music. So the parents used to forbid the child from listening to such coarse music. He knew very well that. And Abhiraj, please wait till the end of the class, my dear. Okay, and they were just proceeding, and he also again he was just burying his wishes in his mind itself. Okay, there was a roundabout in full swing. Okay, even we can't resist when we see a roundabout. How could he? Men, women, and children, carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. See, this is how, when you go near any roundabout, this is what the visual and this is what the sound you could hear at that from that place, right? You could see the shriek and cries and laughter of the people. The child. Abhiraj, do you remember the word laughter? Yesterday we discussed. Now you can understand, right? Now,
ma'am.
the child watched them
Ma'am,
intently, and then he made a bold request. See here. So all these times, sometimes he was murmuring when he wanted to have something. Sometimes he was not asking at all, knowing the reply. But this time, the child has made up his mind and asking, going forward. He made a bold request that I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother. Okay, and there was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there. Ahead of him, he turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. So now the child realized that the parents were no longer with him. Okay, so he realized that he was left alone. A kind of he was just such a panicking situation for the child. Just imagine about a child who has no knowledge about the world outside, who has come to a very new place, okay, and who, like today's world, who has no technology, no means of technology, and he could not as he was not very familiar with the situation. He don't know, he had not met with such situation, so that he doesn't know to go to any people and ask for help. The only people whom he know, there was only his parents, and now he lost them. Just think about the child situation, the child psychology at that mind, in that crowd, where he will run, how he could shout. And so if he shouts also, it will not fall into anyone's ears, because it's all crowded, right? A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. So, children, here I told you one of the objective of the lesson is you will be able to sensitize. Okay, so here we should be empathetic. So, when I read this, okay, you please put yourself in this position and try to visualize the situation. Okay, and that is what almost the beauty of the languages. You have to. So, this is how we can empathize for somebody when they are in problem. Okay, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither, in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. At little distances on the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes. Why it is mentioned filmy eyes? Because now tears, he could not see anything very clear. There is tears in between. It is as a screen. It is no, it is as a the tears in your eyes are as a screen. That is what the author is trying to explain. Children, a lot of good descriptions are there, but I don't want you to lose the feel of it. That is what I am not stopping myself in between to give you the descriptions. If you try to follow this, you will be definitely able to follow this. Okay, so I'm not stopping myself in between each word, difficult word, or each sentence. Okay, try to follow, try to visualize the situation. Men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among the people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through the people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father. Near the entrance to the temple, however, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, Father, Mother. A man in the surging crowd heard his cry and, stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. Okay, so now these 2-3 paragraphs is describing about the child's psychology, how the child started panicking when he could not see his father and mother, how he was just madly running in the crowd, and was not mind, he doesn't mind about the crowd. So when it is entering at the entrance of the shrine, the crowd was more and it was very difficult to make his way, but he never mind about it, just he was moving on the floor, and to see that through the floor he want to see whether the parents are there inside. By that time his cry was heard by a person, and he, like, he stooped down and he get that person, he get the boy with great difficulty, he lifted the boy with great difficulty, and he asked, what happened, child? Because the person could understand that the child is separated from his parents. Okay, how did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as his tear cleared of the mass. So the person came out of the crowd with the child, and he started asking the child, because the person, he wanted to help the child. Okay, the child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, I want my mother, I want my father. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute, to the swaying cobra. Listen to that nice music, child, he pleaded. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double-pitched strain, I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloon would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow-colored balloon? He persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put around your neck? The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob, I want my mother, I want my father. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. What sweets would you like, child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Here ends the story. Okay, now I'll stop and I'll share. Children, now you might feel that. Is there anybody feeling that story ends abruptly?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Why
this
is
is
that
how.
income?
Huh? It is not an incomplete story. Actually, this is the end of the story. Okay, the short story end like this. This is a open-ended story. So we can see it is left to your imagination. So here, what is given more importance is whether the child got his parents back or not. That is not the important thing. That, as I told you in the objective, it is mainly about the child's psychology. Okay, so now let us see the description of it. So now in the later part, what else? So after the child lost the parent, what had happened? He was just running here and there madly. By the time he was caught by a person, a very kind-hearted, good-hearted person, and that person, he really wanted to help the child. Okay, so as he wanted to help the child, he was asking, he was trying to get some information about the child, the parent. He was trying to ask, child, tell me about your parent, so that he could at least help the child to get back to his parent, right? So, but he was full, he could not speak anything except, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay, the child was totally lost in panic, anxiety, okay, and as the fear of separation. And now this is what I see. Throughout the way, the child was continuously demanding for something. Okay, whatever appeals his mind, whatever appeals his eye, whatever he feels that it is tempting, the child was throughout the story, he was asking for it. When the father was denying it and the mother was not listening to or paying attention to that, the child feels like, it was a kind of uh, the child felt so sad for that. Okay, it's a kind of receding back. So, but And child might have thought about why the father is not doing anything to me. As I told you, if you are continuously refused by your parent when you ask for something, what impact it would create in your mind? Okay, so such a kind of impact also would have created in his mind at that point of time. He would have started, just having a kind of grudge against his father. What a kind of person he is. Okay, so that anger, all those things, that anger, contempt, all those things started melting down the moment when he realized that he lost his parent. At that time, what has become major attention? So now the person who got him, he was trying to show him, take him to the different things, whatever things that he wanted to get at that time, wanted to possess at that time before he lost his parent. Okay, he was taking him to the sweet meat seller, he was taking him to the garland, he was ready to buy balloons for him, he was ready to give him a ride on the roundabout, everything now he could get free of cost. Okay, there is no parent, there is no father to stop him. But did the child enjoy that? Did the child at least pay a little attention to that? No. That is what the child psychology is. Okay, so where a child will get that most protection, at most that care, the love and protection only from his family. Okay, so that is what the author, why he has not completed his story by telling that whether the child lost his parent or whether the child could able to go back to the parents, why he has not mentioned anything is because that is not the point what he wanted to stress here. He wanted to mention about, he wanted to tell that what in the world is very important for a child is the protection, the emotional security that he is getting from his parents. Okay, for any child. Okay, so no matter if you fight with them, if you are like unhappy with them when you don't get something whatever you are demanding for. Okay, but the real bonding is that there with your parents. That is what he was trying to show. The child completely, like, started ignoring about, he was not at all ready to pay attention to the stranger when he was ready to buy him everything. Okay, and what sort of a person was a stranger? We have to see the person also, we have to admire such kind of a person also. Okay, now let us see, is the story clear, children?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand why it is not mentioned like whether he met the parent or not? Because of the author want to give importance to the other theme. Okay, so now here I told you the learning objective, you at the end of the story will come to know about child psychology. Okay, and the bond of love any child would share with the parent, however it is, whatever be the financial or economic condition of the family. Okay, the bond, the family bond is, it remains the same without changing, okay, for centuries. Students can sensitize the feeling of an individual. Are you able to feel the child's pain when he lost the parent? Are you able to put yourself now, empathize for the child? So if you are able to, the objective of the lesson is met. The next is students can describe nature. So lot of language part we have seen. Now more than this, let us see this. These are all we have discussed. So now, synopsis of the story. At the end of the story, at the end of, after explaining the theme, I'll ask you to read. Now coming to the theme and message of the story. Okay, can you see this? So the whatever are highlighted and red, they are the theme and message. Okay, family bonding is one of the themes, child psychology and humanity. Let us see it in detail. What is family bonding? What family bonding we see here? Okay, so you could see mother, father, even at that time, how they live in a close-knit society, how the child is being taken care by the parents, how a mother is always trying to be be a bridge between the father and the child. Okay, so such familial bonding was explained. So, but now, if you see today's context, it's entirely different. Here, the child doesn't need a representative, right? On our time, we don't need a representative. In those days, the child always have a kind of reputation, a respect, and a kind of respect. And he also always used to have keep a distance from the father, especially. Okay, but now that is not the condition. That is not the case. But still, the children, can you please mute yourself? But still, how the family bonding was even at that time. Okay, that was all described through the story. That is one of the theme. And the next is child psychology. we have seen more about a child's psychology, how the child was aspired in the beginning, how he was demanding when he saw the things, okay, and later the realization, how the child's aspiration, from aspiration, how it is going to demand, and from that, all those things, how it is coming to the realization. So what do you mean by realization? So here the realization is the child first, whatever he wanted to get, those are all the materialistic things, right? Okay, do you understand, children? Do you understand the meaning of materialistic things? You all know the
Yes, ma'am.
meaning of
Yes,
materialistic.
ma'am.
So what are the
Yes,
things
ma'am.
he was longing for in the beginning was all materialistic thing. Okay. So later stage, the child realized that it is not the matter. First, he felt that that is what important. So it is not the materialistic thing that you want. What you really want is your parents, the bond, okay, the security, the protection that you are getting from your parent. Okay. So the aspiration. So the story is a journey of a child from his aspiration through demands to realization, okay, to realization of what life is. Then comes to humanity. So whom can we connect the humanity, this theme with? The person, the stranger who had helped the child to, who really wanted to help the child to go back to the parent, right? Who had got the boy and who had offered all these things. So there we can see in the crowd of people, there were, it was not many people had shown that, not many people had shown attention towards the child's cry, right? It was one person who heard the person, and he tried to console the boy, and he was ready to offer whatever the child wanted to get. Okay, so here we can see the humanity, the mankind's responsibility. So this humanity we all should have. So you also may find such kind of people, such kind of children. You might feel there are some people in the society, they need your help, okay, they are left without any help. At that time, our humanity should be there, okay, because it's our responsibility to the world. We should show humanity to the people, those who are in need, like the stranger did. Okay, so like the stranger did means, so as far as your age and maturity, is the themes clear, children? next
Yes,
comes
ma'am.
next comes so very slow.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, wait. Yeah, symbolism of the story, I'll come again. Yeah, so here now comes the symbolism of the story. So here, children, actually the story, it is criticized in some other way. Criticize means, don't take criticism in a negative sense. Criticism means if a work of art is criticized or analyzed in a proper manner for its style of writing, for its theme, for the intensity of it, that is what is called a criticism. Is generally any piece of literature will be taken for analysis by the other people, other contemporary writers. That is what we call criticism. So there are some critics view, I'm just giving you as an additional information. There are some critics view, they used to tell that this is not a story in plain, it has a symbolism as well. Okay, it has a deep meaning. So if you see the meaning, it is something metaphysical level, it is going to the religious level. So what they are telling is, the first part of the story, it is a simple story. As a child lost his parent and later realized that he wants only his parent back. Okay, and now if you take the metaphysical level or the religious side, so what the story is, here the child symbolizes human being, okay, and the fair symbolizes the world. So how we used to get attracted with each and everything of the world, okay, whatever is appealing to our eyes. See here, the attraction in the fair appeals to the senses. Toys appeal to the eyes, burfi appeals to the palate, flowers, visual and olfactory, balloons, visual appeal, music, oral appeal. Okay, so this is how we people in the world, whatever we see, whatever is appealing to our senses, we feel that we want to run behind that. We get easily become a prey of all those things and we want to get them. Okay, we want to possess them. But later, in later part of our lesson, our life, we will have a realization that this is not, this, all these materialistic things are not life. I had wasted my life running behind all these things. My real life is the, what is the meaning of the real life is in maybe God or the eternal power. Okay, that is what I told you. It has a metaphysical connection also. It has a symbolism. Generally, such type of question may not come, but still to give you more understanding, as you are in grade 9 level, symbolism, images play very major role in when you are writing an analytical answer. That's why I'm providing this as an additional information. Okay, so in fast we will see the synopsis of the story. So do you all understand now, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, synopsis of the story. So we saw a child. So here no character is given with any name. Okay, a child going with his parent to the fair, and like it is a very the festive season. People are walking in crowd, and they are going to attend the village. I mean, they're going to attend the ceremony in the village. Okay, and the child, like the fair, is very much fascinated for the child, because on the way he could see so many things which was fascinating, which was very attracting his attracting and appealing. So he wanted to get all those things on the way, but his parents continuously refused to give them. Later, in one point of time, the child realized that he lost his parent. Okay, when he was having a look at this roundabout swing. So when he realized that he lost his parent, then he forgot about all the other things. He started weeping and crying and running madly into the crowd in search of them. By the time he was picked up by a stranger who really wanted to help the child, and he wanted to quieten the child first because the child was crying. So he wanted to offer something what can make the child quiet. So he was taking the child to all the other all the shops which he had gone previously and demanded for things to his parent. Now the stranger was ready to give him everything, but the child doesn't want anything. He was not at all paying any attention to any of such things. Okay, even a single thing also. Now what we could understand is the child's desire now was only he wants this emotional security. He wants to go back to his parent. That's a story. Clear? Okay, children. Now we have discussed the
Yes,
story in short. The theme, I think it would be clear to you. The symbolism, maybe it is little difficult to understand, but still. Okay. And now I'm giving you an assignment. These two are the post-reading assignment. As many of you feel that it is incomplete, I request you to give an alternate ending to the story. Add one more paragraph, maybe to the maximum 80 words, and give a proper ending to the story if you want to give it. Okay, if you want to give a happy ending or a sad ending, that is left to you. Okay, give an alternate ending to the story. That is one assignment to be done in the A4 sheet paper. Another thing is give a critical appreciation of the chapter. What do you mean by critical appreciation? Means you have to write about the setting, you have to write about the theme, you have to write about the plot construction, how the plot is developed. You have to write about the characters and all. In short, how you used to write for your Who Blonde Book journal, do you remember? Okay, if you just consolidate all the points and write, that is what the critical appreciation. That is, in short, I can say summary you're writing, but from your own point of view. Is it clear, children?